Well guys, this is Merry Christmas from TrainzXtreme, and as a Christmas present in fact, I've got this. The brand new set from Character Building Doctor Who range, the Silent Time Machine set with 378 pieces. Now I know what that is, thank you very much to all my lovely viewers. And so as you can see, we've got, a reasonable sized box. Slightly smaller, but feeling far more full than the Dalek spaceship set. And if we turn it over, you've got your typical kind of box art. We've got some different shots. The Silence Will Fall logo. The price, and you can see it's $50 from the ABC shop in Australia, which is the retail for these products. As you can see all the different information about the Silence here. And you can see, the big feature circles, stuff like, your actual size, 2 microfigures included, all the usual jazz from the box. So now I've shown you the box, we're going to go deep inside and see what's actually inside this set. Now that I've finished the set, we can have a look at what actually comes inside the set. So first when we look at this instruction book, there's something we notice straight away. There's a 1 and a 2 on the 2 distinct sections of the Silent Time Machine. And if we look at the bags, sure enough, we've got like one labelled 1 and the other labelled 2. As soon as I saw this, I was overjoyed to see that Character Building has listened to the complaints of us users and buyers of the product, as well as copied from, the almighty LEGO, and decided that maybe actually splitting up the build into bags would make it a lot more easier to actually build. So on that note, this set was a lot easier to build because it had a lot less pieces floating around while I was trying to make the 2 sections. So what do I like about this set? Well, as you can see, once you've got a few silencers in it, as I said, the set only actually comes with 2, but I've used my other silencers for my collection, it's really quite impressive. We've got this module here, which as you can see is the same design from the TV series with the 4 console panels, and which is also the same spaceship that we see in the Lodger episode from Series 5. And it's really nice and almost symmetrical. It looks very much like it does on the TV show. And it's really quite impressive, despite its seemingly simple looks, with very few decals. Only these ones here, which I really like. The second part is a bit weird. Now once again, we've seen this kind of weird, gravelly, rocky design with these funny coloured walls. I'm not quite sure what they're meant to represent, maybe like a hideaway. But the inclusion of this secret ladder is really cool. And the opening trapdoor is also nice. Then we move up to the operation table we saw from Day of the Moon episode, and we've got these dangly pipes, some of them with attachments, some of them without attachments, a new light attachment, which I think is really cool, and this new golf ball looking attachment. We've got the moving bed table thingy. We've got the rotating computer controller. And we also have this really cool little toolbox, which has this, a little gun, I assume, whatever this is, and a nice looking character building screwdriver, which I think is kind of a cool little thing to have in these sets, because it's something new that we haven't seen from character building as of yet. So it's actually quite a nice set, and it's actually quite decently sized, especially when we compare it to the Dalek spaceship, which is just here. We can see that it's actually quite a decent size when compared to other sets that are, a little bit more expensive. So it's actually quite an interesting set. I think there's a lot of playability in there, involved with, all the different sections, and as I said, the different landscapes within this set. But despite this, I still think there's a couple of things that need to be improved. So what if character building kind of messed up in this set? Well, first of all, they continue to fail to show the colours after the step of each building is required. And that gets really confusing when you're trying to place pieces, because you don't really have any way of referencing where pieces are, especially when you have lots and lots of studs, like this, you have to be attaching. Now, second of all, I've spoken to you before about how character building boxes are sometimes a little bit unreliable. In this case, we've got these couple here where that's white and this is silver, and what we actually have is grey and more grey. But what's really bad is this section here. Because if we flip it over, look what we have. We have this huge rock structure here, completely different design for the wall, and a third and a fourth one of these rock pieces here. And if we look at the actual model, what we get in the box is a stumpy little rock structure here, a very neatly coloured wall, as opposed to the funny coloured and funny edged wall here, and only 2 of these rocks as supports, rather than the 4 that it shows on the box. So clearly, this photo is a prototype, but I don't think it's appropriate for character building to attach the prototypes to the front covers, especially when a difference like this, a massive difference in pieces and design, is actually on the front. Whereas, small colour changes make sense. Now, this set actually has something else wrong with it. There's actually a part in this set which isn't right, and it's this one just here. Because you see, the way that these studs on this piece are set out does not line up with these. So you see, I've taken this part off, and you can see that when these are lined up straight, we can see that the studs are straight. But what we are told to do in the instructions is line these pieces up so that this center piece here lines up with this center here. However, if we turn them this way, we can see that the studs are on a diagonal. And so therefore, it's not actually possible for us to attach, it this way like the instructions tell us. The part has to be attached side on. Now of course, does this make any difference to the playability of the set? Well, no, it doesn't. But it really confused me for a long time, and first I thought I'd got a malfunctioning part. But after looking at this piece, which is also in the Tata set, I realized that it's the same design. So they've made a mistake in their instructions and also in the design pictures. So this is something, once again, that's kind of, you overlook, but then if you think about it, that's really not a very good start. Apart from that, there really aren't many structurally, flawed things. This set is a lot solider than, the Tata set. Even these seemingly flimsy supports, once they're all attached, actually are quite strong. And I think that apart from that, the rest of the structure is pretty good, except I'm starting to get over these pipes, I'm not going to lie. We see them quite excessively used in a lot of sets. And I think especially in this one, they kind of seem to dangle really uselessly. And I don't really know if that's, kind of that exciting anymore. I think that they were good in the Tata set, they were good in the Dalek set, but in this set, I think they've started to reach their expiry, and they really need to come up with some new way of doing these kind of pieces. So now, would I actually recommend this set? So is the Silent set really worth your money? Well, I think this is one of the better value sets in the character building range. And, ignoring the small faults that I've talked about, which really don't impact on the playability of the set, and rather just show that character building, is still a new player in the Lego block kind of world. I think that this set's really good, and although you only get 2 Silence figures, where I think, having the 6 that I have is a little bit, fills out the space a bit, I think that it's still quite good value, especially when you get these exclusive kind of interesting tools. You get this really cool, 2-part design. And as I said, it's quite good value and does have quite a bit of playability with all the different functions, both recognizable from the TV series and that have kind of been made up by character building. And so I actually think this set is really, really good value, and that it's really kind of worth going out there and buying if you're in the market for these kind of sets, because with a little bit of dressing up, you can make these anything you want. So, hang on, where's this camera going? Hang on, what's going on over here? It looks like there are a lot more wind-up engines than there've ever been before. Maybe that's a hint of something to come, TrainzXtreme fans. So that's all we've got time for now. Bye, and Merry Christmas from TrainzXtreme.